My name is Viet Anh. I'm the country director of Hagar International in Vietnam. Today I'm here not to speak for myself, but to speak on behalf of the survivors we work with every day. These brave young women and men have lived through unimaginable exploitation. They cannot be here with us on camera today, some for reasons of safety, others because it is deemed too painful, but they want their story to be heard. At Hagar, we are seeing more and more cases of trafficking for the purpose of forced criminality. These are not isolated incidents, they are part of a growing regional trend. Most of the survivors we support were recruited through social media platforms like Facebook or TikTok. They were promised high-paying jobs in Cambodia, Myanmar, or Laos in the areas of customer service, information and technology, or gaming. Some were even told they would work in call centers or casinos, but when they arrived, everything changed. One man's wife had passed away, was led to raise their two children on his own, struggling to earn enough money to support them. He was lured by false promises on the internet without asking for clear description of the job over there. The huge amounts of money was so tempting, so he just rushed to it. He was taken onto a bus by a stranger, and he couldn't get off. Another 20-year-old man told us he was invited to hang out by a friend, but then was drugged through his ring. When he woke up, he was in a car on the way to a scam center in another country. Therefore, passports were taken as soon as they crossed the border. They were locked in a heavily guarded building and forced to scam people online. When they didn't meet targets, they were beaten or shot with electric wires. Another girl, 17 years old, came across a job post on Facebook, recruiting ex-selling person with high pay. She believed it is because a woman had commented under the post saying that she had done the job before and would accompany her. The girl got into a car and was asked to hand over her phone and passport, and then was trafficked through multiple countries, sold from one scam center to another. She was starved, threatened, and told her family would be hurt if she tried to run. She told us, "I didn't even know which country I was in anymore." In these places, the victims are forced to carry out online fraud, romance scams, cryptocurrency fraud, phishing attacks, targeting people all over the world. But they are not the perpetrators, they are the victims. They are people who were trapped, coerced, and abused. Some are even blackmailed with private images or drugged to keep them compliant. Escaping is extremely difficult. Some survivors fled during police raids. Others were rescued by NGOs or sympathetic insiders, and a few managed to run, but even after escape, their trauma is still far from over. Many return home carrying deep shame, fear, and guilt. They have been misunderstood not only by communities, but sometimes even by their own families. One survivor told us, "I didn't want to scam people. I cry every day, but they threatened to kill me if I stop." At Hagar, we work with these survivors on their long journey of healing. We provide comprehensive care including safe shelter, counseling, case management, economic empowerment, medical care, and a long-term follow-ups that empowers survivors to rebuild their lives. We also work with government partners in Vietnam to make sure that victims of forced criminality are identified and protected, not punished. One of the most powerful things we can do is listen. Survivors have told us they want to use their pain to prevent others from being deceived. One said, "I can't undo what happened, but I can make sure it doesn't happen to someone else." But they cannot do this alone, and neither can we. To stop this form of trafficking, we need, first, stronger regional and international cooperation among law enforcement agencies to identify and dismantle trafficking networks that operate across borders. Second, investment in community education and early intervention, especially in high-risk areas, so that individuals are informed and resilient against deceptive recruitment tactics. Third, clear legal frameworks that ensure victims are treated as victims, not as criminals. Fourth, tech companies monitor and remove fake job ads that lure victims into exploitation. Fifth, empower survivors to raise their voices, share their stories, advocate for change, and help shape policies. And last but not least, ensure that trauma-informed care is at the heart of our intervention, to avoid re-traumatization and creating safe, respectful, and empowering environments for meaningful recovery and reintegration of the survivor. We also need to recognize how sophisticated traffickers become. These crimes are not always visible. There are no chains, but there is fear, coercion, and deep psychological support. So today, I speak with urgency and with hope. Urgency because the number of victims is growing, but hope because every survivor we support is a reminder of what is possible when people are lived, protected, and given the chance to heal. On the other hand, I ask all of you, governments, tech companies, law enforcement, civil society, to act with compassion and courage, and to remember that behind every online scam, there may be a young person crying behind a locked door, hoping someone will set them free. Thank you.